Hi guys, Kaiser here. I hope you are in the mood for a fascinating Age of Empires 2 matchup, because I played quite the interesting game and I cannot wait to share it with you guys. Buckle in, this is going to be a fun one. So we find ourselves on Arena, and if you've been a fan of the channel for a while, you know that closed maps like Arena are not the way that I like to play Age of Empires. If the game gets into the post-imperial trash war slogfest, I'm not very good at that yet. I'm working on it, but that's not my playstyle. The way that I like to win the game is to put pressure on in the feudal age or the early castle age, and try to win the game in the castle age or the early imperial age. I am not a post-imperial player, and that's why historically I have banned Arena. I just don't play on Arena. But I've been thinking to myself, there must be some way. And I've read of different strategies and different ways to crack Arena wide open and try to win the game more in my style on this map. So, did some research. And of course, again, if you've been a fan of the channel for a while, you know I love my castle drops. But I want to see if there are other ways of winning Arena. I came across one strategy that I have featured at least once before on the channel, but I really wanted to try it on Arena, the SMUSH, the Siege Monk Rush. Thought to myself, oh, what a great idea. I've tried the strategy before, you've seen it on Hideout, but I want to get more practice with it on Arena. So that's my game plan. I'm here in the red, and I've chosen the Aztecs. I think the Aztecs are one of the best civilizations for the SMUSH. Why? Well, you've got the extra gold that you start the game with, which is great economic flexibility. When you go for a SMUSH, your early economy is pretty strained, so any little bit of extra cushioning is nice. Of course, all of your military buildings produce faster, and that's really helpful for what you want to do. And then your monks, of course, get additional HP with every monastery tech they research, so that's really cool. So I like the Aztecs. There are other civs I think are great. The Saracens are a classic choice. I think the Bengalis, with their recent buffed monks, would be a very interesting option. I'd love to try the Bengalis out on Arena. But here I am, taking a quick look at the build order. I start out with 6 on sheep, 4 on wood. I've got one vill to boar, 1 vill on berries, putting a mill down, and then going back to a lot of boar and sheep. Just going down to, I think it's 19 pop, if I'm not mistaken, that I put onto food under the town center. And by the way, I do want to give credit to I looked up a build order, and I don't remember off the top of my head who was the author of this. I'm sure the build orders have circulated around the community, but I will leave a link in the description below to the video that I used to kind of help practice this strategy and the one that I'm going to be using to get better at this. Anyway, so I'm just focusing on my build order for a second because it is pretty tight. We're trying to get 19 vills under food. I'm luring in deer, getting in the boar, using my cows and my sheep. Yeah, here we go. He's luring in the next boar right there. All right. And after I get up to my 19 pop under the TC, yeah. Then I'm going to put, I think it's 3 more onto wood, and then 2 onto gold, and then tech up. Look at this. Ah, this is so close. This guy right here. Where did he go? This one. Yeah. Almost 4 HP. 1 more hit from the board, and he goes down. That was close. So ultimately we want 8 on wood, and I'll be taking 2 off of food onto wood. So 10 on wood, and then 2 on gold, and then everybody else on food. That's the game plan. Now let's pause talking about the SMUSH for a second. We're on Arena, all right, and my opponent in the teal, or the cyan if you prefer, is Ulosca, playing as the Portuguese. Now, the Portuguese have been featured recently on my channel in my AoE 2 videos because they are the most recently buffed, overhauled Civ. They've been given a new bonus that really helps them out on open maps. their berries not only give food, but also wood. And that gives them just an extra level of flexibility that really helps on open maps. But here's the thing. The Portuguese were already strong on closed maps, and this is only, healthier for them. So I'm basically fighting the final boss here of arena maps. I think the Portuguese are, I don't know if they're number 1 on the tier list, but they are really high up there when it comes to closed map play, made even better with this berry bonus. And I think that there are 2 ways that you can play the Portuguese. Personally, I like taking advantage of their gold discount bonus and treating them as sort of a jack-of-all-trades civ. I like being able to go into double gold comps, knights, and archers, and just a variety of unit compositions. But there is another way to play the Portuguese, and if you have ever fought the Portuguese, you've probably run into this. Other people like playing the Portuguese kind of like the Spanish or the Mongols, a unique unit-only civ. You sit back, you mass up organ guns, and when you do, there are very few units that can deal with just a big ball of organ guns. Is hard to stop, period. Right? So I've got to keep my eye on how Ulosca wants to play this game. Now back over to me, I've got 24 vills. So you got 24 vills, and then the scout is your 25th. So you start with 25 pop. If I were smart, I would be putting a house down while teching up. This is a mistake. Ouch. Alright, so I'm going to get Loom going in just a second here, I think. If I'm not mistaken, there we go. Loom up, house down, come on, there we go, Alright, little bit of idle TC time I did not need. Both of us, obviously, going for the fast castle. Blacksmith and marketplace going down quickly. Something else that I think would have been good, I put down 2 farms before teching up the next stage. I could have, should have, would have put down 3 more farms during the transition. I believe you want 5 farms around your TC. But regardless, selling stone, buying food, and teching up. Getting up to the castle edge before my opponent. Not by much, but getting there. Yeah, I think with Ulosca, he was able to do it without selling his stone. I had to sell all of my stone to make that happen. Part of that, I think is, again, the bonus that comes from the berries, which is really helpful. But part of it, I suspect, and not to mention, I've got, well, at this point I've got 5 on berries, but he was able to put 5 on berries a lot sooner. That's part of it, but then the other part is he put down farms a lot faster, and I should have done that. I could have afforded a couple of farms earlier. That would have meant more food faster, so. Now, if you're going to go for a SMUSH, the Siege Monk Rush, there are 2 main units. Mangonel, which are great against buildings and great against archers and skirmishers. And then you have monks, which are the ultimate anti-infantry, anti-knight option. The only thing you've got to watch out for are light cav. For a lot of civs, that means you want to get out some spearmen to help with the push. For the Aztecs, an alternative that you may want to consider are Eagle Scouts. And what I've seen for the Aztecs are the Eagle Scouts are a great choice. The reason why being, as soon as you break into the walls in an arena fight, you have a ball of Eagle Scouts and you rush them into the vulnerable parts of the enemy eco. He's panicking, he's not expecting this. You get a bunch of kills early on and just establish economic supremacy. Right, so I like it. I like going ahead and getting some Eagles out alongside my SMUSH. Now here we go. Ulosca, 650 stone in the bank, and he is marching out with 7 villagers. Initially, I think trying to go for some kind of castle drop on me, I'd have to assume. Throwing down a house. Alright. Now, fortunately for me, again, I used the opportunity as I was transitioning from feudal into castle to get out some, Eagle Scouts. And the presence of those Eagle Scouts was enough to scare him off, push him back. Now he has to build the castle defensively. He's still going to get that castle up, but it's a defensive castle. And then, not only that, I caught one of his vills out. Right, so he's down one vill, giving me temporarily kind of a... Well, it was a vill lead. Alright. Siege Workshop up. Monastery up. Now, the trick with a Siege Monk Rush... first off, one of the things that's beautiful, of course, is you get to use your monks, of course, to pick up the relics and get that eco advantage. That's really great. Not to mention that the Aztecs gain 20% more gold from every relic, so extra nice. And here we go. Earlier, I forgot to mention this, but during the feudal age, I was scouting with my vills, and I saw the double mining camps. And I knew that this one had gold, so I should have seen. Oh, he's on stone. Okay, I should have known. He's gonna go castle. He's probably gonna go organ guns. And then I saw the villagers coming forward. I know he's trying to castle drop me. I should have realized organ guns. But it's really not until this moment, when I actually see the organ guns. I should have been using my intel better. I had the tools needed. But it wasn't until now when I realized, hey, wait a minute. You know, he's probably just going to mass organ guns. He's going to go with the organ strat. The mango would be so helpful here, but I'm not focus firing. You need to focus fire ground. Instead, I'm targeting units and they're just dodging out of the way, and that's useless. So that's the bad news. That mangonel goes down. He's building momentum. That's the bad news. There is, however, some good news, which is it just so happens that the strategy that I have been going for is the perfect counter to the organ strat. Why? Well, one, I've got monks. I have monks with extra HP. I'm picking up Sanctity, and after Sanctity, I've got Redemption coming up. These are siege units. Once I get Redemption, my monks can actually convert these guys to my side. And because my monks have more HP, that means that it's going to be harder for them to get focus fire down. So, win-win. I also have been going into my Eagle Scouts, my Eagle Warriors. And Eagle Warriors, they're kind of like Knights in a way. They've got a lot of Pierce armor. And so, you know, organ guns, they do pierce damage. So that's a really great counter as well. Alright, 4 villagers moving forward from Aluska, wanting to build a forward siege workshop. Yeah, I gotta give him credit. He's got the same idea I do. He wants to end the game in the Castle Age. He does not want to go into this post-Imperial War like I do. I mean, same as me, right? Now, here we go. I've got 3 monks, and there's a 4th. Redemption coming up. The conversions begin. Getting a little unlucky. 1 monk goes down without getting a conversion off, but there we go. Second conversion there. Oh, and he goes down before the conversion. So, actually, not so hot yet. Excuse me. There we go. Conversion off. So he's trying to break in, and he's having to kill his own units, which is great. Meanwhile, my monks pull back, the surviving ones. They heal each other. They're waiting for their faith bar to fill back up and go for more conversions. I love it. I love it because I think the Portuguese organ gun strat, I'm not saying that it is like broken or anything like that, but when you play against it and you're not expecting it, it can feel cheesy. You can feel like you got cheesed. Excuse me. And so to realize that you have the perfect counter to his strategy, it's a good feeling. Alright, got a couple conversions off. Not bad. So, at this point, he's got 7 organ guns. And here we go. Eagle Warriors move in. They've got that extra pierce damage. These organ guns are weaker because of what my converted organ guns were able to do. Yeah, all the siege is going down. All that siege falls apart. He's got no response. And here we go. He's trying to save his vills. But hey, I got monks. And this part is beautiful. He's running the vills away. But I decided I'm not going to go for the vills. You got that siege workshop. I would love a second workshop. You know, the SMUSH needs siege. Thank you for your contribution, Portuguese. By the way, you notice how slow Eagle Warriors are without squires? I'm always surprised just how slow they are. You gotta pick up squires. And here we go. More organ guns. So there's sort of a bad news, good news situation for me. The bad news is Uloska's on 2 town centers. So he's got the eco going, and he's got 15 vills up on me. The good news is I have military momentum. 15 units to his 7. I have an awful lot of mangonel queued up in the workshop. More monks. And even more here. Excuse me. More queued up, and I'm picking up monk techs just as great as fervor is, and that will be very helpful. But on top of that, just being able to pick up the extra HP. Going from 55 to 60, that'll be helpful. Here we go. Come on, come on, conversions. 2 down. Come on, come on. 2, yeah, there we go. And what I tried to do during that fight was I tried to make sure that I converted units that had full health. Boom. All right, his military's wiped out, and now I have the advantage. I've got mangonel, I've got organ guns, Eagle Warriors. He's trying to build a second castle. But he's building it forward a little too aggressively. I wonder if I had just shot the castle instead. That would have been enough to knock it out. Regardless. I killed 2 of my own guys there, but organ gun goes down. I have 13 military, 14 military to his 1. Now he's trying to build the castle defensively. But you know what? You don't need those vills. Nope, nope, nope. You don't need those either. So I've brought down the eco disparity to 8 villagers, and I've got military momentum. We're gonna try to make this SMUSH work. Alright, so I gotta get those guys moving. There we go. Now they're moving. So, the bad news, I find that with the SMUSH, if your opponent gets up 2 castles, it's very hard, and you're in a very dangerous situation, because at that point, I mean, I guess I could try to swoop around, hit from this side, take down this town center. That's possible, especially, you know, with a bird's eye view, but I know he's getting 2 castles up there. It's hard to see where I should go. It's hard to break into that point. So that's tough. The good news is I've completely shut down his early attempt at winning the game with organ guns. So that's nice. And I'm taking control of the center of the map. So very quickly he will run out of gold. He'll be forced to fall back onto trash units. That's good news for me. And here we go. I am the first one up to the Imperial Age. That is the benefit of staying on 1 town center. Well, okay, I actually have picked up a second TC. But he has invested more heavily into eco than I have. This is giving me a timing advantage. And if I'm lucky, I can do something with that. Now, I'll go ahead and highlight another mistake that I've made. Again, if you've watched the channel for a while, you know that one of the things that I'm a big fan of, as soon as you hit the Imperial Age, 9 times out of 10, you grab your castle and you start shooting out trebuchets. You want to get trebuchet momentum going before your opponent does. So, timing and speed is everything. Ooh! Hold on, watch this. He's got 12 organ guns. I have, it was 9. It's now 7 monks. I'm pulling back, I'm sacrificing this organ gun, but that gives me enough time to turn around and begin the waves of conversion. Bam, bam, bam. Bam. The Aztec holy defense. Holy defense, Batman. Yeah, that push just fell apart. Without, I mean, I lost a monk, I lost a converted organ gun. But that was it. And he's lost, I don't know, how many units there? He went from 12 to 3. And those 3 have, what, like half HP or something like that? This is one of my favorite moments. I believe he just deleted the wrong unit. I'm pretty sure he deleted trying to save, try to keep the conversion from happening, but he grabbed the wrong one. So, yeah, I mean, I end the game. I got an organ gun back here, right? He loses all of that. It's just the beauty of monk play. When I was getting into the game, I could not really use monks. It took a long time. I mean, I'm still learning how to use monks effectively. But when you get a game like this and you're converting units left and right, it's a good feeling. I've just picked up block printing, which will give my monks extra range. And I've got illumination here, which will help them recover their faith faster, so they get conversions off more quickly. What I need to be aware of. I've got mangoes, I've got monks. The one unit in the game that I'm aware of that has resistance to conversion are light cavalry, scout cav. I need to have a response ready, and I don't. I should be getting up, I've already got the castle. I suppose the Jaguar Warriors wouldn't be a bad idea, but what I really need is either, I need pikemen, or, and I've got the barracks up, Eagle Warriors I think would not be a bad choice either. I think pikemen are probably a better choice, just to scare off the light cav and keep the siege push going. But Eagle Warriors are not a bad idea, especially because of what I mentioned earlier. If this wall goes down, there's an opportunity for scouts to do a lot of damage. I'm sorry, scouts. Eagle Warriors. There's a lot of opportunity for my Eagle Warriors to do a lot of damage. So notice I'm picking up infantry armor now. I waited until now to do it because the Warriors couldn't do a lot before then. But now that we're here, I want to make sure that they've got armor so they can go under town centers, they can do damage. And look at this. We've got the biggest ball of organ guns yet. 18 organ guns. I've got 9 monks, 5 mangoes. Castle Age mangonel. Right. Here we go. 13 Eagle Warriors. And before I move forward to take out the next castle, I'm going to knock a hole in the wall. By the way, what I was saying earlier, I did not get a castle up until I had already reached the Imperial Age, which was a mistake. I should have had the castle up in Castle Age while I was taking up 2 Imp. So that way, as soon as I hit Imp, I could start getting out the Trebs. But here we go. Trebs move forward. I see the organ guns, but I've got these super-powered monks getting conversions off. Now they're confused. They're firing on each other, letting the mangonel get in position. Oh, and with that, the mangonel just absolutely get destroyed. Here we go. I got Eagle Warriors moving in. Notice how I've got 14 kills right now. Vil kills. He's bringing in Scout Cav to try to deal with the Trebs. I get 1 conversion off. Back up. Just keep your monks alive. Don't lose the monks. And what I did with the Eagle Warriors, I purposefully sent them into the vulnerable underbelly. I figured everything defensive would be up top. So if I send them to the back, send them into the farms, send them into the wood line, and, you can get some serious damage. Trying to rely on the Aztec monks' extra HP to make some damage happen here. I lose some monks. I don't know if it's worth it or not, but, I keep them from getting too many kills on me, from building up too high of a mass. And I see where the cav are coming from. So I know I need to shut this down. Meanwhile, the Eagle Warrior is doing great work. Since we last looked at my eco kills, I'm now up to 37 villagers killed. Tis 2. I am up 23 villagers on him right now. he has extra blacksmith techs on me, but these are functionally knights. You know, knights versus scouts. That should be a fight I would win. The light cav would go down faster if they were pikemen, but I don't think it's a bad choice. And here I've got spearmen, as you can see. Okay, I make this choice on purpose. I know that I'm sending a bunch of vills forward. 19 monks, almost the totality of the difference. I'm still getting kills back here. This is great. And I'm doing that on purpose, by the way. I'm going back every once in a while, just sending them into different vulnerable parts of the eco, trying to distract him. I know I'm going to lose vills here. That was part of the plan. You know, if they got seen, I thought that was a sacrifice I could make. And so here we see, yes, I am losing vills, but I've got Eagle Warriors, and now I've got pikemen on the field. His knights and his scouts are going to have a hard time responding to that. All right, so yeah, he's getting some vill kills, but that castle's going up. I continue to move. The Eagle Warrior was here. I decided to send him back, you know? You can get more kills. Just be annoying. All right, at this point, the whole cav go down. I am going to get this castle up, and that will functionally, along with all these pikemen, shut down his scout knight play. He's down to 50 vills, 53 vills. He seemed queuing up some archers, but man, he's got nothing in archers. And Aloska calls the GG. What an incredible game. I was a huge fan of this one. I mean, we got to see the Portuguese stronger than ever, using one of their classic strategies that a lot of people feel are overpowered or cheesy. It's a very strong play, the organ gun push. And I was just trying to make the SMUSH happen, and just so happened to have the perfect counter to, again, the organ gun play. This was an intense game. It was a fun one. I really, really enjoyed playing this. And I would really encourage you guys to check out, again, the video in the description below that'll show you how to do the Aztec SMUSH. I think it's a lot of fun, and it opens up a new way of playing Arena that I think is pretty great. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate each and every one of you that does that. For now, this is the Iron Kaiser, signing off.